Hello YouTube, the Spicer here once again, and Telescopic Pen. Other than that, this is an update to some important collaborative efforts between me and some other YouTubers and stuff like that. One, the podcast format is not necessarily changing, but being added to. We're going to keep the main podcast. I'm going to shoot for doing that in the middle of the month. However, look for some additions. At least I've got it planned now, and it is subject to change because I do have to work out a few more details, but I did want to let you guys know ahead of time, podcast-wise, what's going to go on in April, if things work out the way I plan. So first is I did like the idea of trying to fit everything in one podcast. It gives a lot of diversity, but at the same time, not everyone's into the same thing, and we don't have all that much time to talk about it. Granted, it would be awesome to do that, but at the same time, upload constraints and stuff like that do limit us, and people are on time frames. So it does limit us in terms of what we can do, which isn't a bad thing. People have lives. I'm totally fine with that. I don't want to, if someone's bored, I don't want them to sit there, essentially. So what I went ahead and did is essentially separate some things out. So if it works out like I think, the first month, or the first thing of the first recording session of the month is going to be kind of a special type thing for Gunpla. So those of us who build model kits can kind of get together and talk about it. I think primarily, or at least regular other than myself, I think. I hope. Ooh. It's probably going to be Meads and a few other people. Then, in the middle of the month, we're going to have the Minovsky Radio podcast, the standard old podcast, take place. And towards the end of the month, if it does end up happening, kind of a more gaming-focused one. Because realistically, the Minovsky Radio podcast is going to be more geared towards mainly Damacy, occasionally some kit talk, and shows and stuff, and kind of our thoughts about it all, and kind of more of a freestyle type thing, that anything gets brought up, really. I mean, we'd have a topic list, but we tend to stray. So at least for one of them being focused a little bit more towards Gunpla, one of them being kind of focused towards gaming, because we really don't talk about that at all with Gundam games, and I was going to have Nick helping, Nick the Rock 84. I always say his name wrong, so I assume I got that wrong, but we'll see. Since he's really into it, and I do have a few Gundam games under my belt, and we may have some other people on at the same time, but this will also help maintain a large cast while keeping things 3 or 4 people each, which is good for timing, and it really does kind of help bring a little bit more of a focus to each podcast. With that being said, this is a test month. It may not work out. The podcast is going to happen like normal. I'm trying, because it'll be the final episode of Build Fighters will have aired by the time we get to record it. So I'm trying to get a lot of people we haven't had on in a while, or some new people on, to kind of do that. And I think that's, for the most part, I do want to keep a centralized cast for the podcast with, interchanging a few people out here and there, or at least from Minovsky Radio. I was thinking, I'm not sure of a name for either the gaming or the Gunpla one, but, like I said, I will have to talk to Nick and Meads about it a little bit more. But I do believe they're both down for the idea. I know Meads and I have talked about it before. I think I may have talked about it with Nick already. So look forward to that. Hopefully you guys are pretty hype. I think all those videos will go to that channel. And realistically, what I'm most likely going to do, because the site I do host the podcast on, I've now passed the 50% mark on where I'm at in terms of storage space I have. So, there's a couple different things I can do, because even deleting old podcasts doesn't take it away. It's just how much I've used. So with adding these two, I'm probably either going to make a new account for them, have either make a new account, have someone else make a new account and manage it. So, I'm not doing everything. I mean, not to say that I do everything and anything like that. I don't want to sound ungrateful or anything like that. But, these are a little bit more oriented towards certain people's hobbies. So I may, have them at least set up the account and then I do uploads or something like that, well, since I already do the recording anyway. Or something like that, we'll see. Other than that, they'll all still go up on Manofsky Radio YouTube, since, at least in my mind at the moment, they're kind of a subsidiary or kind of a side story type thing, or kind of a branch under Manofsky Radio. Kind of Manofsky Radio is the umbrella, then we have Gunpla and stuff, and then gaming and all that. However, a separate entity, and something I'm very excited for, is the revival or the revision of Londo's Outpost. I've talked with Patrick a little bit about it and kind of where we're going to go with the idea. I do like what we've come up with so far. I'm not entirely sure. We haven't set a date to record or anything, but the ideas we do have are pretty awesome. And I'm really excited. This is something I've wanted to do for a while. I just have yet to get to do it. If it goes the way we intend, it's going to be rad, and it's going to be cool. But we'll see how it goes. In kind of terms of a comparison to older Londo's Outposts, or say the Manofsky Radio podcast at the moment, it's going to be, I guess, more consistent. And not, with upload dates or anything like that. It's more of opposed to how we run things is more consistent. The format's going to be a little bit better, or a little bit more consistent, as opposed to, say, with Manofsky Radio. We have a topic list, and we just kind of tend to go on tangents, which is fine. I really enjoy that format, actually. It's really entertaining. It's really fun, actually. But it kind of brings a separate thing, and if we do get to end up doing that, we are not going to put it on either of our channels. We do want it to be a separate entity. But like I said, we're in the planning stages, so when it happens, it'll be cool. Don't know when it's going to happen, but look forward to it, because it's going to be rad when it does. I wouldn't expect a big change in, say, either of our channels as opposed to it. We're still going to have our own things going on. And kind of, April is a huge test month for me, basically. I mean, I'm not like school-wise. I guess there are tests in there for school, but whatever. I mean, in terms of my channel and the content I've been producing and stuff like that. Because, I mean, on my channel, I'm going to start to cut back on some stuff so that I can focus a little more time on doing more things. Especially, I don't know exactly how much editing I'm really going to put into the Gunpla and gaming side of Manofsky Radio. We may have a different name under that. I'm not sure yet. Like I said, I have to talk to them about it. But, if it is something I do need to edit a little bit on, not really from an audio standpoint, but more video, that's going to take some more time. And not to say I do a lot of editing for my videos to begin with, but still. Other than that, though, I do want to start, and I don't mean that my videos quality-wise have been bad, but as you can actually see back here in the background, I've got a new setup going for my reviews. And I've wanted for a while to start doing my own kind of more professionalized type situation. And I don't mean, over the top, but, I do want an intro that's pretty consistent. I do want, at least my channel and stuff to be... I do like the whole Nicolas Cage trying to eat a person via Titan, but that's my terrible Photoshop, or not Photoshop, my terrible paint skills. Ooh. Other than that, though, I mean, there's a lot going on with the entirety of my YouTube and podcast existence. I'm trying out 2 new podcasts this month, cutting back on my channel to make it a little bit more quality over quantity, I guess, and stuff like that. I may start doing more live action stuff. I may get some more animations out there again. But, I mean, other than that, it's gonna kind of go back and forth. We'll see how this month goes. If it goes good, fantastic. I've got at least a step in the right direction. If it doesn't work out nearly as well as I intended, either my content is lacking in what I wanted it to be, then I can try to improve it for the next month, or doing essentially 3 recording sessions a month is going to just wear me out. I hope not, and it is a day so far that I've set to record that is consistently free. So hopefully we'll stay that way, and I'll be able to record with the people, when I get the chance. And we'll have plenty to talk about. However, it kind of goes back and forth. Like I said, this is a test month. I wouldn't necessarily be alarmed if, you do get into whichever one, say either the gaming or the Gunpla one, and it's not there for the next month. It may be something we just do every other month, because Gunpla is a little more consistent, so we may do that as kind of a monthly sideshow or something, as compared to the main podcast, which will continue to be monthly. But the gaming side is a little bit slower on news, but like I said, it is something we have to try and kind of, if there's enough stuff Nick wants to talk about and other people who want to join in on it, then we're going to go from there. But in the comments down below, you guys, if you're still watching, please, if there's anyone you guys want to see on the podcast, let me know, because the way I want to continue the podcast is kind of with splitting it up, I want to have a centralized main podcast crew, rotating a few people in and out. I think I may have said that already, but I don't know. So if there is anyone you haven't seen on, or you haven't seen on in a while, let us know, or let me know, I guess, in the video comments. I'm going to put this both on my channel as well as on the Minovsky Radio podcast channel. I know mine will reach a broader base of my subscribers, but at the same time, the podcast has people who aren't just my subscribers. So I can actually put it out there to people and kind of get a response, to where I can kind of see who you guys really want to see, essentially. But yeah, I would definitely look at that. Look forward to kind of seeing that. I may, and this is just kind of entirely speculation, I haven't actually gotten to even the thought process on this one. I've wanted to for a while do, like, in April I'm going to try to bring some of my anime reviews back. Mainly for, say, Build Fighters and Kill la Kill. Maybe Buddy Complex as well, if it ends. To where I can, I want to also start, or take part in, say, like an anime-based podcast. And, we've got the Gundam podcast, and I love doing that. It is, the recording sessions are one of the funnest things I've done, hands down. But at the same time, even in that group, I'm kind of, not necessarily an oddball, but, we all have our different tastes. And I'm still in that phase, I suppose, or that mindset, or that age, or whatever it is, or just, I like anime in general more. I like more anime more, I suppose, is what I should say. I guess I put up with more crap, basically. Which is not to say that all anime are bad, but I've watched some pretty bad shows, so there's that. But anyway, I do want to take part in that, so possibly look forward to that. I don't know how far in the planning process that's actually going to get, but I can try. Anyway, I do want to thank you guys for watching and downloading the podcast and watching the podcast. I am sorry they've been late. I'm actually doing editing right now. It is the 25th when this is going to go up, or being recorded as well. I'm actually editing to get caught up to where I have March, uploaded in March, so when April hits, if I do have to do moderate editing on the 2 other podcasts, plus whatever editing I put into Minovsky Radio, I shouldn't get bogged down super hard, but we'll see. April's going to be a crazy month, in short, basically. I know it took me 15 minutes to say that, but whatever. So, look forward to that. Some cool stuff coming to the channel, some cool stuff coming for the podcast, some cool stuff coming for Londo's Outpost whenever that happens. But look forward to all of that, and if you do know of any anime podcasts, or there's any kind of situation like that, are some people, that you think I would mix well with for just an overall anime podcast, let me know. Um, Especially if it's already existing, I can at least ask, say, hey, what's up, guys? Um, that would save me some effort at least. Since I'm usually on the recording production end of it. I mean, yeah, I do take part, but at the same time, I do the other stuff behind the scenes as well. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting the podcast. I'm really glad this worked out. So, anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you later.